Now, into the ticket office of Disneyland.
Oh boy, let's do this. Don't think the CIA is going to be trying to hack your second-gen iPod.
I didn't think so. There might have been a lot of illegal music on there. I wouldn't doubt it. But, I mean...
You were supposed to bring death to the flagships, not join them.
Google has found a new way to piss me off.
iTunes is a constant source of embarrassment.
Every time I say it, it's going to suck even more.
Everyone's idiots.
I am Nadella. I can't do it anymore without laughing. I was going to do the whole thing.
Welcome, everyone, to the Calling All Platforms podcast. I am your host, Wes, and I'm here with Landon.
Hello.
And Caleb.
Hi.
And we are here to talk all things tech this week and last week. Because, you know, there wasn't a lot, really, so... But there was a little, you know, but we're going to bring some stuff up here. Man. All right, well, let's go ahead and get into it, shall we? Looks like, first up here, we got some Apple news. Apple launches groundbreaking new hardware.
Yes. So important, listener. Life-changing developments from Tim Apple not this week, last week. Apple has launched what you might call a second-generation AirTag if you're not paying attention. But if you are paying attention and you look below the surface, you'll realize it's just the first-generation AirTag. Basically.
Oh, man.
So, you know AirTags? This thing that Apple launched that is basically a tile, lets you track stuff that you put it on via their interconnected AirTag network type thing. And it can be tracked by pretty much any Apple device it's in range of and all that kind of thing. Had some issues, right? People were using it to stalk people, and that was very problematic. And there's still problems, but they do an okay job of addressing them. So they've launched an AirTag 2. They're calling it. It does have some slight hardware tweaks to it. Essentially, it's using updated versions of the wireless connectivity standards that it uses and has some tweaks for efficiency gains, which theoretically means the battery's going to last a little bit longer. Physically, it's the same. You can still use your existing AirTag dongles with it. Still has the replaceable button cell battery thing in it, which is nice. Glad they kept that. And the only real notable change is that if you have an older phone that uses their ultra-wideband frequency tracking chip, like the first version of it, that's not going to work for precision finding with this new AirTag. So newer devices will, and I believe the quote-unquote newer devices that are supported are the 15 Pro and newer on the iPhone side of things. I think if I cared more, I would go double check. I don't. It is the most iterative of iterative updates. But AirTag 2, it's a thing.
Yeah.
And honestly, the most pertinent consumer purchasing detail to come out because of this is that the first generation AirTags have dropped in price pretty substantially on Amazon. So if you want an AirTag right now, go buy one of those.
Yeah. Now, I have heard from people that own AirTags, like another thing that has been updated on this one is the sound that it makes when you want to ping it is better for actually being able to hear it. It's a little louder, it's a little higher pitched, so it's more piercing. And the people that use that feature that I've heard from anyways are like, this actually might be worth buying more just for that feature. So, I mean, I wouldn't buy more for that feature, but I do understand, like, if it's got a Find My feature that, you know, for if you want to hear it, because you don't have one of those newer phones that has the better precise location tracking, then using the sound would be a better option. So that might make it work. I mean, it's the same price as what they were before, so it's not like you're spending a higher amount of money. Right. But, I mean, like Caleb said, honestly, getting the first generation ones for cheaper is still probably the better option. Yep. But if you don't know about that, then these are going to be fine, obviously.
Yeah. And I think that, better make a louder noise since they reduced the number of phones that it works for precision tracking.
Yes.
But, yeah. That's it.
Nice. That's it. Okay. That was quite the end there. Okay.
I know. It's it goes out with a splat, but it kind of came in with a fart anyways, so it's fine.
Nasty. All right, let's go ahead and move on. Got some Google news. Actually, good news from Google.
Yes, something that doesn't happen very often these days, but something it's actually has to do with the last bit of good news that Google talked about at the end of last year when they announced AirDrop compatibility with Pixel devices. The vice president of engineering at Google, Eric Kay is the guy's name. He said this was just like a press briefing somewhere. I don't even know what it was for. But he said, we spent a lot of time and energy to make sure that we could build something that was compatible not only with iPhone, but with iPads and MacBooks. Now that we've proven it out, we're working with our partners to expand it into the rest of the ecosystem. And you should see some exciting announcements coming very soon. So that means AirDrop will be on basically all Android phones, hopefully by the end of the year or sooner.
Hey.
I imagine it's probably going to be something that comes with the newest version of Android at their developer conference in May or whenever it is. It's probably when it's going to be announced. So, but either way, that is great news. So just keep an eye out for that. We will definitely cover it when it is announced and when it happens, because we love good news around here, and that is good news.
Yes. As much as we can get.
Yeah.
That is true. All right. Well, let's go ahead and move on. We got some general tech news here. Samsung, stop being so stupid.
Oh, well, the good news had to end somewhere, obviously. So this is something that we would have talked about last week, and I just didn't care enough to try to convince these guys to talk about it last week because it's not great news. Actually, no, this one is newer. Never mind. The other stupid news from Samsung is our next
We have
thing.
additional stupid Samsung news coming.
Yeah.
Look forward to that.
I'm just getting my stupid Samsung news confused. Anyways, this one. So, okay, I got to preface this with Google did the right thing last year by putting Qi 2 into the Pixel 10 phones. Like built-in magnets, ready to go. So we all assumed, okay, Google's done it. That means Samsung's going to do it, right? Right?
Right?
Right?
Right?
Well.
Right? Please?
So we still don't have the new S26 phones yet. They're supposed to be coming out in the next couple weeks, from what I understand. And a recent leak has come out and said that no, these new phones won't have magnets built into the phones, because the leak is there's been some cases, like first-party cases from Samsung, that have the magnets built into those instead.
Oh.
Which, to be fair, that is also a thing for iPhones and Pixel phones, just so you can have a stronger magnet. Like the case that I have does have magnets built into it to make it stronger.
Yeah.
But so it doesn't necessarily mean that the phone won't have Qi 2, but it's not looking great. And if that is the case, Samsung, just seriously, you obviously hate your consumers, apparently. Because this is like one of those quality of life features that, yes, obviously is not necessary, but is extremely nice to have. And where your other main competitors, being Apple and Google, both have it in their phones, this is going to turn into one of those features that, oh, well, I guess if Samsung isn't going to finally do it, I'll switch to a Pixel, or maybe I'll switch to an iPhone, because they've got that feature. That's a differentiating feature that people look for when it comes to buying $1,000 phones, because other than that, there really aren't that many differentiating features anymore, because the UIs are very similar, the cameras are all very similar. You got to add something to make your phone better. And Apple and Google have both done that. Samsung, you're not doing that. Stop being stupid.
Yeah.
Please?
Ugh.
Yeah. All right. Well, next topic here. Hey, speaking of Samsung being stupid.
Oh, this is the one that was from last week that I still don't really want to mention, but I kind of have to because that's what we do here. So Samsung announced availability and pricing for the Galaxy Z Trifold. And I bet you can guess what the stupid part about this is. It's obviously the price. So it was you could start to buy it in stores on January 30th, which was a week ago or 2 weeks. I don't know. Time is stupid. But the problem with this phone is the price is $2,900. Which it was funny. I did hear somebody try to explain this away. It's like, well, if you think about it, you're getting 3 flagship screens at $960 a piece. It's like, no, that's not a good case. Sorry, because you're still getting not flagship specs everywhere else. You're just getting, and even this display is not going to be as good a quality as your $1,000 flagship phones. A lot of money. But to be fair as well, like a lot of people that have used this phone are saying it's like, this is actually what we wanted when it comes to a folding, like going from a regular phone to a bigger display, because it is basically a full-size tablet and it has DeX mode, which almost turns it into a laptop in a way. So if you're thinking about it in that way, it's like, okay, if I'm spending $1,000 on a phone and probably $1,500 to $2,000 for a laptop, maybe, but it's still a like very small market that can justify buying this phone. But I have heard, like I said, most things I've heard about this phone, other than the price, have been positive because it does have that much larger display inside, which does make it far more useful than the other large display foldable phones. So, okay, it's a lot of freaking money for one device. I definitely can't justify that. Even for somebody that could use it, I still can't fully justify that price for that device. But that's me.
Yeah. I mean, listen, the real issue here is that they had the audacity to put RAM in it. And so they probably weren't planning on pricing it like that when they made the thing. But yeah, industry said what industry said.
I mean, you're giving them a lot of credit there.
Here's the thing. I would not be at all surprised if the folks at the Samsung Mobile division who made this phone thought they were going to be able to get a better deal on their RAM than they got from their actual pants sister company, Samsung, who makes RAM.
Yeah.
I'm sure they were like, yeah, we always get a great deal on RAM from them. And then they went to ask, and Samsung, the RAM company, was like, absolutely not. We've sold all of our production capacity for the next 3 years to data centers and NVIDIA. So you can't have any of it. So that may genuinely, that might have been responsible for hundreds of dollars of increased price. It still was going to be crazy expensive regardless.
Yeah, I mean, the one benefit to this phone costing this much is that when Apple finally announces their foldable phone at $2,500, we're going to be like, oh, that's not a bad deal.
Yeah.
Although it's not going to be nearly as big of a display. It's going to be a single folding phone with a 8 to 10 inch, or not 10 inch, like an 8 to 8.5 inch display on the inside. And who knows how the software is going to be on that? Is it a mix of iOS and iPadOS? We don't know. It's going to be
too flippin' knows.
It's going to be awful, I think.
Apple doesn't even know. No, it probably will be awful. Yep.
Man. Okay. All right, let's go ahead and move on to the next general tech news here. We got Firefox is adding the AI kill switch to kill the AI nobody wanted them to add. Hey, good news.
Yeah, technically, it's sort of like good news to curb the kind of bad news. So, listener, remember how last year Firefox, the makers of the only other web browser that isn't Chrome on most devices, said that they were their new CEO came out, made a statement, was all like, "Hey, we're going to turn this into the AI-powered browsing experience that everybody wants." And everyone that uses the browser was like, absolutely not. Nobody wants that. And they didn't exactly backpedal, but some folks on the Firefox team were all like, listen, you got to understand this is the direction the internet is going. And if we want to keep up, we have to do this. But the entire development team is already planning on and is already working on what we're internally calling the AI kill switch, which will just 100% from the ground up deactivate all AI features added to the browser with one click. And they said that, and it is in the beta versions of Firefox currently, right? So if you're if you're using pre-release versions of Firefox right now, that is already available to you. So yes, they did in fact follow through on that. And you will be able to disable all of the stupid AI crap in Firefox with a single click, which is, once again, a reason that everyone should stop using Chrome and switch to Firefox. So, yay, says the guy who uses Safari. Which, to be fair, if you're not on Windows or Linux, is also a non-Chrome option. There are three browsers that exist in this world. There is Safari, there is Chrome, and then there is Firefox. Everything else, listener, I hate to break it to you, all of the other browser names you have heard, they're all Chrome.
Yep.
Every last one of them is Chrome. If it's not Safari and it's not Firefox, it's Chrome. They're all built on the Chromium engine. They're all technically built on a code base maintained by Google. And that just is what it is, unfortunately. So if you don't want that, and you shouldn't want that, then yeah, Firefox on platforms other than Macs is your only option. That is somewhat problematic still, because I can't remember what percentage of Mozilla's budget comes from Google. It's quite a bit. Google pays Firefox a significant amount of money to have Google as the main search engine for the browser. And that's where most of their operating costs to continue developing Firefox come from. So it's like Google is still there. Google is everywhere on the internet. It's impossible to get away from them. But yeah, and to be fair, Chromium is technically an open source project, and so it's not like if you're using Brave that Google has access to all of your traffic just because it's a Chromium-based browser. But still, if you don't want to be beholden to Google and Chrome, then hey, at the very least, Firefox will now give you the ability to turn off the AI they're baking into the browser, which is, I think it's safe to say, a thing that will never exist in Chrome.
Yeah, no.
So, there you go.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I saw this next one, and it just hurts me to say it, listener.
Oh, it's fun.
The HP laptop subscription.
Yes, HP wants you to subscribe to your laptop now.
Oh.
So,
Yeah.
let's just back up a little bit, okay? Because this is not technically new. This is a thing that HP has been doing they announced it about a year ago, and the program itself has been running for about 8-ish months, something like that. I'm bringing it up now because they just recently announced a gaming laptop version of this program that changed a few things about the original program and made it worse. But mainly this is here because I this year wanted to be able to put under the HP printer's worst platform of the year, HP laptops. So that's why we're talking about this now. I think it deserves the nomination. Fundamentally, what this is listener, you've probably heard, and we have talked about on the podcast in the past, hardware subscription programs that are you pay a monthly fee. It is sort of just a long-term lease for a device, and at the end of it, you own the device, right? Like we've talked about that with Xbox before, and other companies, Apple, in fact, does this, but it's a slightly different flavor. At the end of it, you can keep paying and return your device, and they'll give you an upgrade. You can do that like every year. Like essentially you pay the price, and every year you can hand in your old phone, get the new phone, or you can pay for 2 years, and at the end of it, you have paid the cost of the device you were given, and you can just take it and then keep it and own it and sell it if you want. And you can keep paying, like you can re-up for another year and get a new phone, but you get to keep the old one, right? So that's kind of how these programs have existed in the past. That's sort of what the HP laptop subscription thing looks like, right? Now, if you look at it from a distance, what you are seeing is, okay, here's a consumer grade laptop that you pay monthly. They send you the laptop. There are some perks in terms of like cloud storage and some other like feature kind of subscription things that are included in the price that you're paying.
Is printer ink included with that?
No. However,
that would almost make it worth it.
Additional pieces of hardware like dongles to plug into your computer and printers that you can get along with it are available in the program for additional charges. And I would assume that the printer subscription probably includes the ink subscription. So yeah, that's all tied in there somewhere. And so that's kind of how it works. And they give you the ability to upgrade your laptop without changing your subscription price as they add new and better devices to the program, right? So like if you are paying at a certain tier, they can add like a newer laptop to that tier, and you can then send your old one back and get the new one when that happens. And if they do that on a yearly cadence, and if you are the type of person who is going to pay for is going to buy a brand new laptop every year anyways, then this program makes a lot of sense, because at the price that they're charging for the monthly subscription, it takes about 3 years to hit the purchasing price of just buying the laptop outright. Okay? So if you're the type of person that upgrades every year or every other year, sure, you're going to save money by doing this, and then you get a new laptop. There's a few things that it's contingent on. The fact it's only been around for 8 months makes it really hard to say whether or not these are true. This relies on them releasing a new laptop into the program at your tier at least every other year.
Yeah.
So far, they have upgraded them once during the 8 months since its launch, so maybe that will be true. It also relies on you being the type of person who upgrades your computer every year or every other year. And listener, if that's you,
wow,
I don't want to like be too derogatory about this, but let's just say, please stop, get some help. That's not a good way to purchase tech just in general. Do not upgrade. Buy laptops that will last you for longer than a year. That's
so don't buy HP laptops.
Listen, the laptops that are in this program are the types of laptop that would last for more than a year. These are the laptops that cost like $2,000 to $3,000, right? These are not the cheap crap like HP Stream type laptops, okay? These are good laptops. And so that's, at like, $40 a month or something like that. It takes a couple of years still to catch up to that kind of thing. But that's what it looks like from the outside. But the key thing here is that at no point will you ever own your device. Ever. If you pay for the device for 3 years to the point where you will have hit the purchase price of the device and you don't upgrade, you still won't own it. You can keep paying and it's still their laptop. If you ever stop paying, they can remotely lock it down and basically send repo men to your house to repossess the laptop. Like that's the kind of thing that you're signing up for here. And I can't say strongly enough, listener, that under no circumstances should you be paying money for a piece of hardware that you will never actually own. You are renting this thing like a long-term rental for something like that. That's just not like, don't do that with like anything, I feel pretty comfortable saying that, right? Like, I think the one thing that is maybe that doesn't apply to is houses, because buying a house is really hard. They're really expensive. It's a whole nightmare out there right now, listener. I get that. And if you're stuck renting a house for your entire life, listen, I get it, right? That it sucks that that's the way it is, but that is the way it is. I get that. But with pretty much anything else, if you're making payments toward it, theoretically, by the time you have finished making those payments, you should own the thing. And that is not what this is. They want to do like a Netflix style subscription for the laptop. And if you stop paying at any point, even after you have paid as much money as the thing is worth, it will just go away. Now, with their original laptop subscription, the way they had it priced, like I said a little bit ago, is that generally speaking, about 3 years is what it took to pay these laptops up, right? To match the original purchase price of these things. Their gaming laptop subscription, they've changed the pricing on them. They're more expensive now. It's 2 years now, which means that even if you are the type of person who upgrades your gaming laptop every 2 years, which that's crazy. Like, just to be clear, you bought a high-end gaming laptop and you're going to update it after 18 months to 24 months. That's insane. Don't do that. Like, what a waste. Seriously. But generally speaking, if you're the type of person who does that, you want to subsidize your purchase of your next one by selling the old one, for like 50% the price of what you paid for it. And you can't do that with these. And even if you are the type of person who upgrades every 2 years, you would be better off financially to just pay the full price up front and in 2 years sell it and then buy the next one for effectively 50% off. Like, that's much smarter. So the only way it would make sense on the gaming one is if you're the type of person who upgrades your like frickin' RTX 50 series powered gaming laptop every 12 months. Who does that? Don't just listen, you're going to look at it. And you're going to see the much lower upfront cost of like $120 a month or something versus $2,000 or $2,500. And you're going to think, yeah, I can afford that. No, because listen, man, you get to the end of the 2 years, you're going to be able to sell it for $1,000. And versus if you do this, you're going to still end up paying the same amount of money. And at the end of the 2 years, HP's just going to take it back and you're going to get nothing. I can't. HP, you suck. I hate you. Stop. Okay.
I will play devil's advocate here and try to find,
try to give. This will be good.
A reason why this might be a good idea it's not, but if by some crazy chance, RAM prices never get better. If it's true that your subscription price doesn't change, which also isn't guaranteed, but if it stays the same and you do want to upgrade, you're not spending exponentially more for component prices. You're just getting the newer stuff, theoretically. But again, you still never own the device. So that's why it's still not recommended by any means.
I think I would fire back on that. You're positing the existence of a world in which RAM prices just continue to exponentially increase over time, as they have been doing for the past 8 months or so.
Hey, I didn't say I agree with this reasoning.
If that turns out to be the case, I can guarantee that these subscription prices are going to jump over time. And I have not read the agreement that you sign with HP when you sign up for this program, but it would not surprise me at all that they have put a clause in there that allows them to change the price you are paying given a certain amount of notice or something like that, assuming that they need to for whatever reason.
Right.
So I
didn't say it was a good reason or that I agree with it.
I mean, you tried.
An effort was made.
Yeah.
No, I don't think that, like, even the base one, like the original one, where it takes you 3 years of paying for the thing to actually like pay the thing off. I look at that and I think to myself, honestly, at that stage, I would just, I don't know, borrow money from a friend or something like that and pay them back over time to buy your laptop. Like that just, it's so rough. It's still, I guess, technically not as bad as like going to Rent-A-Center and renting, like rent to own on a laptop, because they charge you interest on that. It's basically a loan. But man, I just can't think of a whole lot of circumstances where, honestly, listener, if you need a laptop and you don't have $2,000 to spend on a laptop, spend $500 on a laptop and install Linux on it instead of, like, take Windows 11 off, put Linux on it, and you'll get the same amount of performance as a $2,000 laptop running Windows 11. You'll have paid a lot less money for it. It'll last you longer. It'll be yours. And that matters in this day and age. Gosh dang it.
Yeah.
Man. It's still... Yeah, let's move on. I don't want to add anything to it.
Because this next subject is so much rosier.
All right, let's do this. Let's jump in. Tesla officially jumps the shark.
Yeah. So I feel like most of the time on this one, I'm going to take explaining what the phrase jump the shark means. You may be familiar with it already, listener, but for those of you that aren't, you may have heard of a show called Happy Days, or you may not have. It's been a while. It's old. It's from the 80s and 90s. It ran into the 90s, right?
I don't know.
I think. Like early 90s. It started in the mid 80s and was just, a sitcom. There was a character in this sitcom, the Fonzie. He was the cool dude, right? This was a very popular sitcom for many, many years. However, everyone who was fans of the show widely agrees that the quality declined slowly over a period of time. But the moment at which the show basically ceased to be watchable was the bit where, in a particular episode, a particular scene, the Fonz is jet skiing or something like that, water skiing behind a boat, and does a jump off a wave to jump over a shark that is chasing him or something like that. I have not watched the episode. I'm just familiar with it for, like, the broader context of me. This is the moment at which this thing became unwatchable, right? A lot of TV shows have these moments. For instance, if you're familiar with the early 2000s remake of Battlestar Galactica, the moment where that show jumped the shark was New Caprica. Just right? Like a lot of shows have this, and movies will have them. The moment in which the movie where you're just like, nope, from this point on, it becomes unwatchable. It's no longer worth it. I checked out. I'm gone. Yeah. Companies do this all the time, right? The moment at which this company has become like their products are not worth it. They've changed something. It's no longer worth it. For some people, Apple jumped the shark a while ago. And if I were to pick a moment where Apple jumped the shark for me personally, it would be specifically as regards their industrial design. And they jumped the shark when they launched the first aluminum unibody MacBook. Because despite the fact that those things are some of the best built, most premium feeling laptops on the planet, they just lost all sense of whimsy and fun in their industrial design at that point. That was the moment where their devices stopped being fun and started just being classy, which is nice. They're still very well built, but man, I miss my translucent plastics. Anyways, yeah. Tesla. You probably could have made the argument that Tesla jumped the shark when they launched the Cybertruck. I might still maybe make that argument. But at this moment, this juncture in time will go down as history as the moment where Tesla stopped being a car company at all. So Tesla has announced that they are canceling the Model S and the Model X, which are the two car models that turned them into a success story.
Yeah.
And are not currently their best-selling models. That would be the Model 3. But essentially the S and the X were the premium, the high quality, like these are the good ones. These are the Halo, like this is the best we've made kind of products. They're getting rid of those. The reason they're getting rid of them is because they supposedly need that manufacturing pipeline space to make their stupid Optimus robot things that aren't actually robots. They're just teleoperated armatures. And if you haven't seen the video clip of of the Tesla robot killing itself, essentially.
Yeah, basically.
It's the operator who is wearing some kind of motion capture suit to control the robot. You can see the robot reach up, lift something off of its head, and then it stops moving and collapses backwards. Because what happened is the operator reached up and took off his like VR headset or whatever was allowing him to control this thing and turned off his interface to the robot, and the robot just fell over.
Yep. It's a great video.
Wow.
Because they're not actual robots. They're not. They're remote controlled. So that's, yes, Tesla is going to build what I can't remember. They said a number like 2 million of those or something over the next 2 years. It's a joke. It's an absolute joke.
Yeah.
Tesla isn't a car company anymore. They're also not a robotics company. They're not an AI company. Tesla is now basically just a scam to try and make Elon money. Which, to be fair, it's been kind of that way for a while, but at least they were making products, you know?
Yeah.
At least they were selling products at the time. They appear to just no longer care. Which is wild.
Yeah.
So, there you go.
And like the thing that I saw that and I'm like, yeah, they obviously, I don't think Tesla's really cared about cars for a while, but this proves that they don't care about cars. Yep. And the other thing that I saw this week that I thought was funny and just goes to show that Tesla itself as a company is losing tons of money is because they decided to combine. Tesla and X have kind of been they're a company in and of themselves, like when it comes to stocks and stuff like that. But they decided to combine Tesla X and what's the SpaceX into one
SpaceX
company because
Mhm.
SpaceX is actually making money.
is profitable. SpaceX is actually successful.
So it's like they want to be like, oh, Tesla's making money now. Like, no, they're not. SpaceX is making money. You just happen to combine them into SpaceX again so you could justify. I don't know. It's so stupid.
Which honestly is like the corporate version of, hey, your lifeboat's going down, and I know that you can swim really good, so I'm going to strap this dead horse and a brick onto one of your leg and the and your other leg, and I'm also going to put a plastic bag over your head. Please tow all of this to safety. So, and SpaceX is just going to be sitting there like, I can't. My head's covered with a plastic bag, and I've got a dead horse on my leg. What the heck do you want me to do with this? Like, that's we're going to take the one successful company that can swim, and we're going to drag it down by hitching these dead carcasses to it, which is a thing that I makes perfect sense given Elon Musk's track record of being a savvy businessman. Just to say, he kind of isn't.
Yeah.
So tracks.
All right. Dang. I just think that's funny that robot did that, though.
It was.
I didn't hear that story, so that's
So
that was
funny.
the best. No, you need to look that up. The Tesla robot malfunction. I watched that. It's so funny because it's in front of a crowd of press. Like, it's supposed to be serving drinks to the press,
Yeah.
and then it just like pauses, and then falls over backwards. It's the funniest thing ever. Also, while you're at it, Wes and or listener, look up the video clip of the researcher from China who is using a teleoperated robot body and kicks himself in the nuts with it. It's the funniest.
I think I actually saw that one.
That one
I think
one
I
is
saw
so
that
good.
one.
is like, my favorite part is that if you watch the full clip, you can see he's doing a bunch of karate moves or whatever. He's standing next to the robot, like to the body of the machine, and he's wearing, some kind of motion tracking suit, and he's doing moves moving in one direction, and the robot is moving parallel next to him, right? But one of the moves he does has a very subtle shift in the direction that he's moving, but it was apparently just subtle enough that the robot didn't pick up on it. And so the robot does not make that rotation. And so on the next move, he steps into the path of travel for the robot, and the robot just straight up lands a kick to the groin.
Yep.
It's
great.
So funny. So good. And that's the state of autonomous robots in this world. Like, people talking about how AI is super successful and we're making all kinds of strides. Listen, Boston Dynamics had robots doing these kinds of movements actual pants decades ago.
Yeah.
They're not any smarter now than they were before. They are cheaper to make and and easier to operate because we got better batteries and electronics and stuff like that. So it's not like we haven't made any advancements in the technology, but they're no closer to being like self-actualizing or anything like that. They're still just teleoperated or controlled by pre-programmed movements. It's, whatever. But yeah, sure. Go ahead, Tesla. Bet the farm on that.
Jeez. All right. Well, let's go ahead and move on, shall we? We're going to get in some gaming news. Not too much, but I was going to share this because I did think this was kind of funny. Xbox's next-gen console, it may launch in 2027, says AMD.
I saw this.
So good. Good job,
So-
Lisa Sue.
Yeah.
Yeah, Lisa Su, the CEO of AMD, pretty much just came out and was talking about their earnings, and they came out and said, oh, yeah, the development for the Microsoft's next-gen Xbox featuring our AMD semiconductor SoC is progressing well to support a launch in 2027.
Hilarious.
So, and I mean, Microsoft neither denied or
you can neither confirm nor deny the existence of the next generation Xbox.
so 2027. I just thought that was really funny. So
No, that's great. That's so funny.
I wanted to say that because we'd like to talk about hardware, and yes, I wanted for my wish list to see something about this. So
Hey, I technically didn't come from Microsoft.
It
Not
didn't come
really
from
an official
Microsoft.
announcement, but technically,
It's there. It's coming. Like, I mean, we'll say that. I just thought it was funny. I mean, that it was AMD that was like, oh yeah, this is good. But what was interesting, now I heard this from another podcast. I think they actually asked Sony if they could talk on that, and Sony was like, no. So talk on their next gen thing. So that was interesting. All right, let's go ahead and move on. Quick note here: Blizzard announces Overwatch 2 sequel. Just kidding.
Sure.
I'm trying to be funny here. So on this podcast, we talk a bit of Blizzard games, whether we love them or we don't like them. We talk about Blizzard games. And this past week, Overwatch, well, actually, Blizzard, the week prior, talked about World of Warcraft, and they did a state of, I can't remember, not state of play, but a state of Warcraft. I can't remember what they called it. Announced all that stuff.
Yeah.
Cool stuff. If you're into that, whatever. Let's move on. This past week, Overwatch 2 had their state of play. I'm going to call Spotlight. That's what it was. Sorry. Spotlight. And they talked about what's going on. And I'm just going to go over some quick things of what's happening here. First thing, they were really happy to say this. They are dropping the 2 from Overwatch 2, and it's now just going to be Overwatch.
Basically just a confirmation that it's not a different game. Why don't I have the original Overwatch in my library still, Blizzard? Why isn't just...
I'm not... Listener, I knew this would be a little bit, because I know one of us here has some issues with this, but...
They have wronged me so many times.
I'm just going to go ahead and just say a couple big notes here for this season. This actually season, and by this recording, we're recording on Sunday the 8th. The 10th is when a lot of this ball will be rolling. They're going to launch in February 10th a season 1. And this is going to have the main part here. They said that each of these new heroes they talked about new heroes coming. They are going to do 10 total heroes that they're releasing, but they're going to start with 5 on February 10th to start the new season 1. They are talking about actually having a story arc that starts with the new cinematic and unfolds through motion comics, in-game events, voice lines, animated hero trailers, and short stories.
Hey, you know what would have been a really effective way to deliver story? Single player PvE or small group PvE mode inside the game that allowed them to do like more complicated story driven hero development and stuff like that. Almost like the kind of thing that you would put in a sequel to the original Overwatch. Oh, wait. That was what was announced, wasn't it?
That's true. It was. So, yes, listener, they are trying to do this story-driven, whatever you want to call it.
Sure.
They're trying to do this on there. I'm not going to go over the heroes, but just know there's going to be 5. If you want to go take a look at this, you can go take a look at some of these heroes. I've heard good things. I've seen Overwatch numbers are going up because people are wanting to try the new heroes. And not only that, they are going to do a UI overhaul. So what it looks like now, they're going to change what it looks like. I'm not going to lie. I don't play Marvel Rivals, but it kind of looks like a Marvel Rivals type. When it did come up, that's kind of what it looked like. The way that they're going to have your, if you want to play quick play or whatever options, it kind of looked like that. Well, just off the top of my head, but if you want to look, listener, go take a look. But also, the one that a lot of people are talking about is they're excited for this jetpack kitty cat. A kitty cat with a jetpack on it. Yeah. I love seeing Caleb's face. I really do when I
gotta
see
say,
things like this.
It's pretty sad when Overwatch starts copying Marvel Rivals, which is a copy of Overwatch.
Yes.
Like, boy, howdy, that's some inbreeding to your new features there, Overwatch. Come on, guys.
Yeah. I think, like I said, so I don't play Marvel Rivals a lot, but the way that it was quickly set up, it reminded me of it. So that's why I was like, oh, that kind of... So if you play another hero shooter, I think those are the only two I've really seen.
Those are the only two big ones right now.
Yeah.
But I mean, Marvel Rivals has been eating Overwatch's lunch basically since it launched. So...
They are adding new roles. I guess they're sub roles, so it kind of changes passive. So you got, a bruiser, an initiator, and a stalwart. So they're adding those to be to add to the tank damage and support hero. So you can divide them into sub roles. So it kind of adds different things that way. Cool. Give it a try if you want to hop on there. They are going to do an event, a conquest meta event, where in the story of Overwatch, you have the good guys, Overwatch, the bad guys they're up against, Talon, and you can choose which one of these you would like to do your quests, your weekly quests on, and you get gear or you get cosmetic skins towards who you want to fight for. And that's like different loot boxes, voice lines, cosmetics, weapon charms, things like that. Do you have a comment, Caleb? Should I keep going? You're shaking your head. Okay.
I have no comments. I have said to Blizzard, they know exactly what I think of them. I send weekly emails to them, in fact, detailing their failings.
So they're doing a couple other revamps, post-match accolades. They are making Stadium a little easier for people to play. So like if there's a build you're not sure how to play, but you're like, hey, I want to try this. They actually have like preset builds for you. So you just, hey, I want to play this type of character, and it'll pick the talents for you if you want to go that way. They are going to do more collabs and mythic skins. The big collab that everyone's talking about that's coming is the collab with Hello Kitty. So get your Hello Kitty collab on Overwatch and many more different mythic skins. And it, like I said, season 1 begins February 10th. So lots of big stuff, lots of big changes. Those of you that like to dabble, listener, if you like Overwatch, go take a look. Get your skins, mess with it, whatever. All right. That's it for the gaming news that we have, unless, Caleb, do you want to add anything?
Oh, no.
Okay.
Listen, if I start, it never stops.
It's true. It's true. But we still, I mean, this is our podcast. We need to call all platforms to this. All right. Let's go ahead and move on. And listener, we're going to move on to our most favorite segment, the Doom News.
That's right. Listener, I have a special treat for you this week. It's a double feature because we missed last week and we had 2 weeks in a row where we had actual Doom news. Well, Doom modder news, to be specific. So, the best people on the internet, indisputably, at this stage, are people who are modding Doom and not using AI to do it. Just want to toss that in there because I think that that's going to be pertinent more and more over the coming years. This first one is a couple of weeks old. But so a few weeks back, we've talked on the podcast before about Pine 64, right? The makers of the Pine phone and the Pine book. These are people who design open source hardware, right? Meaning that, yes, they make the designs for the hardware and they will, manufacture and sell you the actual hardware itself. But it is, all of the specifications for it are published. All of the firmware is open sourced, stuff like that. So they're very open, which makes them pretty easy to find security vulnerabilities for them and patch them, which is good. And also they're a modder's playground, all of their devices, including stuff like their soldering iron. It's an open source soldering iron. Pine64 is weird. Anyways, they released not too long ago a set of fully wireless earbuds that are, once again, open source, right? Which means that the hardware in the earbuds, particularly the hardware in the case, is all documented and fully understood and available to be tampered with via the firmware, which is open by the community. And it did not take long for somebody to use that to run Doom. So, a set of wireless earbuds that has a CPU in it to power the Bluetooth and stuff like that. And it turns out it is powerful enough to run Doom. So, they have them plugged into a little screen via USB-C, which is how the thing is charged, but also how data is transferred to and from the earbud case. And they're playing Doom on a set of earbuds, which is bizarre and novel and interesting. But maybe that's not meta enough for you, listener. So, to that end, we have a modder who has got Doom running inside of a Doom clone. Okay? So, there's a genre of game that exists right now in, the year of our Lord 2026, but they've been around for 5-10 years. Boomer shooters, which are games that are designed to mimic FPS games from the mid-90s, like Doom and Quake and stuff like that. Okay? One of these boomer shooters, one of the more popular ones, is Ultra Kill. And so, mid-90s pixelated first-person shooter that it feels like Doom, or more accurately, Doom 2, Quake 2, kind of, that style of game. And inside of that game, there is a computer terminal that somebody has modded the game files such that you can, while you are playing the game, go up to the computer terminal and interact with it to begin playing Doom inside of a Doom clone. So that's great. This game inspired by Doom can now play the game Doom back to you. I don't know which one of these I like better. One of them is a funny use of the hardware, and the other one is a funny use for like modding a game. And both of these are just different flavors of everything I love about Doom modding on the internet. So A+ Doom modders, keep it up. It's the best part of my week by far when there's something to talk about in this category. So
always good to talk about Doom news. Come on. All right. Well, that brings us to the end of the episode, listener. Unless, Landon, you got one more thing for us.
No. No, I don't.
All right. Well, listener, we appreciate you listening to the end of the episode. And any other episodes, you've been with us for a while. We appreciate you listening. If you want to get a hold of us, you can over on our social media platforms, over as well as callingallplatforms.com. You can check out our YouTube videos. And when I mean ours, I believe that's Caleb over there that might be working on one. Who knows? Maybe.
Not me. I don't know.
Nope. But you can go over there, check out those videos, ring the bell, subscribe, whatever it is the kids say these days for that. And, listener, have a good week.
Bye-bye.
See ya.
Calling All Platforms is a production of Supporter Sound Studios. To learn more about how you can support the podcast, go to www.patreon.com/callingallplatforms.